The following program is produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.
For My People is speaking with Brenda Love, and she is a member of the Sierra Club. The Sierra Club is interested in clean air and water and all of the things that we need to survive. She joins us on this edition of For My People to talk about activities that they undertake which may in effect end up in litigation in relationship to the Detroit Incinerator. Now, tell us, if you can, Brenda, what's actually happening with your activities and the activities of others regarding the incinerator?
Okay, we have been at the table with City Council. We originally sent a statement to the mayor to begin to switch into a resolution to begin to switch into recycling. That resolution was vetoed. We then went to City Council, and they passed. They overrode that veto. Then earlier this year, Joanne Watson actually got an ordinance passed that we would not send any more trash to the incinerator to be burnt after July 1st.
Let me ask this. When you say you sent a resolution or you made a request to the mayor, which mayor?
That was Kwame Kilpatrick at the time. Okay. He vetoed that resolution. That's when we went to City Council. They voted and overturned that resolution. And then we got the ordinance passed that Detroit would no longer send any more trash to that incinerator to be burned.
Well, is the incinerator still operating?
Yes, because the ordinance itself has not been honored.
In relationship to the incinerator, why are you opposed to it?
The health challenges that it presents are just astronomical. And I'm sure a lot of it has to put pressure on our health and wellness department. But other than that, it even causes death.
Could you go down the list, because we talked about on the program before about some of the potential carcinogens and other things that exist from the incinerator. Could you just tell us a little bit, specifically in terms of the black community? Basically,
I'd almost like to expound. There's a history of putting these kind of operations under people of color. But there are people who militate against it too, because it's really deadly. The toxins that are released, they are regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency, but the levels of regulation could be higher because it's still releasing a lot of toxicity.
Could you tell us what kind of toxins?
Coal burning plants emit mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic. Mercury damages brain cells and your central nervous system. Lead actually kills off brain cells. The arsenic and cadmium are cancer-causing agents.
As I understand it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Michigan is like in the top 2 or 3 cities in terms of incidences of asthma and respiratory disease among youth in particular.
Mm-hmm. It can even be narrow. The zip codes nearer the incinerator have much higher rates of hospitalization for asthmatic people. It creates other health challenges. So there's a laundry list. Low birth weight, babies born prematurely from the dioxins. And it really impacts another generation because they cannot save all those babies.
So you would like to see a recycling plan. Mm-hmm. And to that end, I understand there's, as I said earlier in the open, that there's a possibility for legal action on behalf of some of the citizens that you mentioned?
We do have firms who want to come in and they will relocate within the corporate limits of the city of Detroit because they can use the products that come from recycling to make other products with them.
But in terms of the litigation, attorneys are prepared to sue the city on behalf of these
injured citizens. Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about that.
They're not going to sue the city. They're going after the operators because they're fighting to hold on to that incinerator. There's a lot of law. There's a federal law, state law, and we're governed by state law on it. The attorneys are going through that now before we actually take a legal action.
Brenda, before we conclude in relationship to the Sierra Club's involvement in this, when you say the operators, a lot of people look at the incinerator and they think the city of Detroit is operating it. But who are the operators?
Coventa. It's a private firm, and they operate incinerators all over this country. They are being closed down, and we're basically the last major city that doesn't do recycling.
Just in conclusion, why do you think it's taken Detroit so long to come to a realization of dealing with this issue?
It hasn't been challenged until we put the challenge forth. And Coventa is quite happy and pleased that it adds to their profit structure.
How much money do they make in a given year in terms of operating the incinerator?
That I'm not sure of, but I do know that $300 trash fee that was added to the property tax bills was for the support of that incinerator. I understand it has been cut to $250, so it's really the citizens who bear the brunt of it.
Format People has been speaking with Brenda Love, who is a member of the Sierra Club, and of course this is very important. If what she says is correct, people are paying for their own illness. So we'll find out more about this. If you want to find out more about this or anything else you've seen here today, reach us on our website at projectbait.blackgold.net.
Customer receipts, payroll, inventory, mailing label, tax reports. I've got computers, but my business still isn't organized. What can I do? You need the Office Assistant billing and bookkeeping software. Bring your business into the 21st century. Call Electronic Services 313-341-1821. That's 313-341-1821.
The preceding program was produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.